Okay, so already we are live. So, hello, my dear friends. Among all the stars which are shining at MBA Wala, I'm happy to announce one of the brightest stars, Shambhavi Srivastava, who is with us right now. And why she is with us, she'll tell this particular thing herself to all of you. So, welcome, Shambhavi.
Thank you, sir. Hi, everyone.
So, Shambhavi, what are you doing here right now? Tell us.
So I converted IIM Ahmedabad for this CAT examinations. Yes.
Great. So people, Shambhavi Srivastava is one another student who has converted IIM Ahmedabad this year, and Shambhavi was a student or is a student, I would say that with MBA Wala, right? So we are here just to have a small round of conversation with Shambhavi, and सबसे ज़्यादा important क्या है? All the students who are right now listening to us, who are right now watching us, and preparing for CAT 2026 भाई तुम लोगों के लिए मौका है सो जो भी चीजें पूछनी है शांभवी से बिकॉज शी हैज कन्वर्टेड the dream college. I would not even say one of the dream colleges, it's the dream college for every MBA aspirant. So during this session I'll be asking some things from Shambhavi. She'll be sharing her experience, her own personal experience with MBA Wala or not with MBA Wala, whatever experience she had in the last 1 or 2 years while preparing for CAT 2025, right? And parallelly, आप लोग भी questions पूछ सकते हो, right? Whatever things you want to ask, जो भी चीजें आपको फॉलो करनी चाहिए ड्यूरिंग योर प्रिपरेशन विद शांभवी, ये चीज पूछ सकते हो. सो शांभवी, जैसा हमने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले डिस्कस किया, हम एकदम नॉर्मल तरीके से स्टार्ट करते हैं. So this is your day, Shambhavi. So obviously you will have to speak a lot, right? So let's
Yes.
begin with like telling all the users, all the aspirants who have joined us about your profile. कि भाई IIM Ahmedabad crack करने के लिए क्या कुछ extraordinary profile चाहिए, which you already have, या फिर like anybody and everybody can crack IIM Ahmedabad.
So my 10th, 12th is from my hometown, which is Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. And my graduate is from National Institute of Fashion Technology, New Delhi, which is the NIFT. And my score would be, I would say, 989 for 10, 12th in grads. And then in CAT examination, I scored 98.71 percentile, which landed me almost all the calls from the IIMs, I would say, all the Blackies and all the calls, except Calcutta. I didn't get Calcutta as a call. But my goal was Ahmedabad, and I'm very fortunate that I got the call for IIM Ahmedabad. And a lot of people, I think, would think that being an IITian or being from the top well-known colleges in India is very important to have a call from IIM Ahmedabad, but I would strongly disagree with that. It's also very important to have all the necessary things that you need. The consistency, I think, would be the best thing that I can say, as you also told me when we met, that these big colleges, they see consistency. They see that what have you done in your college, in your career as a whole. And I also have a work experience now for almost 2.5 to 3 years. I think that was also one of the plus points that I had with my CAT score.
Right.
And so yeah, I believe it's not really necessary to have a very big college or a very big school profile as such. It's very important to be consistent in what you're doing and consistent in your studies and all of the affairs that you're doing.
Perfect, perfect. So, Shambhavi, is it correct to say if I'll mention that you are successfully able to break a lot of myths? Myth number one, that you need a very strong profile. 10 10 10 का प्रोफाइल जैसे चाहिए होता है, लोग सोचते हैं आई एम अहमदाबाद, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दी बेस्ट कॉलेज, दी बेस्ट बी स्कूल ऑफ द कंट्री. सो मेरे जैसे पास में बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, सर आई एम हैविंग अ प्रोफाइल ऑफ 888 989 लाइक यू हैव. So I don't have that 10 10 10 kind of profile. So will I be able to land up in IIM Ahmedabad or not? So this was the first myth that you were able to break successfully.
Yes, right.
Right. Then coming from a very good college in graduation. I won't say that your college is not good. You come from a niche profile. You have done fashion technology, and NIFT is by far the best college for fashion technology in the country, right? NIFT Delhi से आपने किया है, right? But लोगों को लगता है कि हमें Delhi University के top colleges, like we should be doing graduation from SRCC or IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay. इन सब कॉलेजेस से ग्रेजुएशन करके ही IIM अहमदाबाद मिलता है. So this is, I believe, the second myth that you have broken.
Right.
The third myth that I think, and lots of students think, correct me if I'm wrong, कैट में कैट में परसेंटाइल कितना चाहिए मुझे IIM अहमदाबाद की कॉल के लिए? So do I require 99.9 percentile? Do I require 99.8 percentile? So everybody thinks that कि मेरे को 99 plus percentile ही चाहिए. My dear friends, Shambhavi is able to successfully convert IIM Ahmedabad at below 99 percentile. Right? So Shambhavi, CAT का रिजल्ट आया जिस दिन, ठीक है, आई एम डायरेक्टली जंपिंग ऑन टू द कैट रिजल्ट, फिर वापस आते हैं. तो कैट का रिजल्ट जिस दिन आया, कैट का स्कोर देखा, सेक्शनल्स देखे आपने, ओवरऑल परसेंटाइल 98.71. सो व्हाट वाज द फीलिंग एट दैट टाइम?
Honestly, I could not believe it because working on this CAT examination along with my job profile was a very difficult task, honestly. And all I was hoping was to at least clear the cutoff, because Ahmedabad had the cutoff of 85, 85, 85. Right? I was just hoping to at least clear that cutoff so that I don't just lose that call altogether. But then seeing 98.71 and all of those having 95 plus percentile in the sectionals as well, it was really unreal for me. Like, okay, I did it. That's what I could think about that time. It was really unreal.
I'm glad to know that you were happy after seeing your percentile. Because बहुत सारे होते हैं ना कि नहीं यार 99 भी आ जाता, 99 plus आ जाता तो बहुत अच्छा होता. So I would say that you are a sensible student who know कि IIM Ahmedabad की sectional cutoffs are 85, 85, 85, right? So I need to cross this barrier and I'm eligible to get a call from IIM Ahmedabad. Right, wonderful. So वापस चलते हैं. So अच्छा, was this your first attempt for CAT?
Yes, it was my first attempt.
So friends, first attempt for CAT. A student who has scored, who has cleared all the sectional cutoffs, so 95 plus in all the 3 sections. I'll be telling your sectional percentiles as well. I have the entire record. Okay. So जब आपको अपना profile पता था, like I'm talking about day one when you started your preparation, right? So obviously you knew your profile. 10th, 12th graduation, then you had a little bit of work experience as well at the time of applications, right? So did you had faith in your profile कि मेरे को first day पे, I'm talking about first day, कि मेरे को IIM Ahmedabad से call आएगा?
Honestly, I would not say that I had complete faith in myself. I would be very honest. I was hoping that I would get IIM Ahmedabad because that was what I was dreaming about. But I was also at that point that, okay, I just need to have faith in myself that wherever I am placed, be it not IIM Ahmedabad, wherever I'm placed, I'll do well. That is all that I could think of. I had to trust the process to build that faith in myself, because giving CAT is a really pressure test. You can prepare all you want, but the moment you sit in that area and give that pressure test, it's very important to have that faith in yourself that, okay, you'll do it. It's okay, you will do it. Let's just not think about colleges right now. Let's just think about the CAT paper that you're giving right now. It's okay, everything will work out. And I think that is what helped me at that area, where I realized that, okay, quants has been difficult this year. And I was like, okay, it's all right, no worries, I'll be fine. And I think that was the sole purpose that I could think of that time. Yes.
So I can say that single track mind, like one problem at a time, uske bare mein socho, because getting the calls is the second step. But before that हमें CAT तो crack करना ही पड़ेगा. So why to think about IIM Ahmedabad leaving behind your CAT scores? तो पहले CAT के बारे में सोचो, फिर CAT का अच्छा हो गया स्कोर तो IIM Ahmedabad से definitely call आ जाएगा.
Yes.
Right. So फिर PW join किया?
Yes.
So PW कब join किया and how's your journey have been with PW?
So PW I joined from the starting. I think my journey started in April last year. So it has been entire 1 year cycle for me. I joined PW in April. I took the elite weekend batch that time. Because working with the job, I knew that I would not be able to attend any classes on the weekdays. I only had the weekends that I could specifically dedicate myself at.
Perfect. Makes sense.
And of course, there were also a lot of YouTube foundation batches that I saw the videos, the playlist for the foundation areas. And that's how I built it. So I prepared a timetable, and I also had my friend with whom I studied. So it gave us a motivation that, okay, you're studying, I'm studying. So let's just study together. Let's just do this together. And
Great.
we did a weekend plan where weekend was like 6 hours, where we'll add the classes of 2 a.m.s and 4 a.m.s, and then sit and do the mocks, do the small tests that we have in that batches, the classes that we have.
Uh,
Weekdays was ideally to have the foundational videos, so
hmm.
that we have that in mind. Okay, these are the formulas, these are the basic concepts of VRC, of DILR, of maths. And since quants was one of my really challenging areas, I would say, so it was very important for me to build that foundation for the maths. And I think those playlists are one of the core anchors that I would say that helped me overcome that fear for quants for that area.
Great, great, great. So I would say that you were since very first day you made a plan, right? So all the YouTube videos that we have in the playlist, they all help you to build up your foundation. Then working professional, so weekdays में तो classes join नहीं कर सकते, तो that's why you decided on a weekend batch. And you had a companion, you had a friend who was studying with you. So everything was as per the plan, was perfect, I would say, for you, right? तो अब जॉब के साथ जैसे एक स्टूडेंट को मैनेज करना होता है, यू हैव टू टेक आउट टाइम, ऑब्वियसली ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि आप सिर्फ वीकेंड्स पे डिपेंड करते थे. यू
Absolutely.
हाँ यू like obviously major part of your preparation was happening on weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, but something was happening on weekdays as well. तो पता क्या है शांभवी, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जिनको ये पता करना होता है कि मैम कितना आवर्स स्टडी करें हम डेली बेसिस पे और हमें IIM अहमदाबाद से कॉल आ जाएगा. सो कैन वी क्वांटिफाई दिस थिंग?
Not really. I think hours don't matter. What matter is how much you can grasp in a day. Even if you can grasp it in an hour, it's fine. You give an hour. You don't have to force yourself that, okay, I have to sit for 3 hours, I have to sit for 4 hours. The moment your mind says stop, you stop and you give yourself the sleep that you need, because that's also very important. If you're sleep deprived and you're sitting for an exam that's such a pressure test, your brain will stop working that time. And that doesn't make any sense. All your mehnat, I would say, would just go to waste.
All right, great. So Mohit Jain, just to answer your question, जो आपने पूछा duration of your CAT exam preparation. So Shambhavi has just mentioned this thing. And Mohit, you were asking about the profile. So we have already discussed the profile. तो ये जो podcast है आप शुरू से देखना. Then you were asking about how much marks did she score in 10th, 12th graduation, work experience, profile. So we have already discussed about all these things. So let's move ahead, Shambhavi. Live classes on weekends, right? Then tests on weekends as well. Then
Right.
followed by mock papers. So how diligently you were attending live classes? Test कितने दिए? Mock की preparation कैसे किया? And what was your, I would say, strategy while you were taking mocks?
So mocks were ideally, I don't think I left any mock ungiven. I gave all the mocks that were, yeah, I had made it a, I don't know, a habit to give the mock whenever it came, all the small tests and the mocks. So it was very important. I believe my batchmates who have been in college, who have converted IIMs, they had told me that it's very important that you give the mock. You never leave the mocks. So I knew that the moment the mock started coming out, I had to give out that 6 hours, at least 3 hours to give the mock, 3 hours to analyze the mocks, what I'm doing. And it's not easy to analyze the mocks. Once I, sometimes it's in the starting, it felt like, okay, this is what I did wrong. But in the mock, again, I would do the same thing. And I was like, I analyzed it. Why is it not working? But then it slowly after giving 5, 6, 10 mocks, I realized that, okay, it's not just analyzing. You have to go back. You have to do that sum again to understand that, okay, this is how it's going to happen. This is how you can time bound it. If it's going 4 minutes, you have to give it back to 1 minute. So you can just give the mock and leave it. You have to go back to those mocks maybe in 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and then come back and see that you were able to do it or not. because it's no point analyzing the mock the next day and then you just forgetting it all over again. So mocks, I think, are the integral part, because that gives you the idea of how to sit for 3 hours and have that understanding. Because I also understand that DILR becomes one of the strongest and one of the weakest areas for some people. For me, fortunately, DILR was the strongest area. So going to quants did not feel very tiring. But the people for whom DILR is a weakest area, they get very brain lagged going to the quants after doing the DILR. So it's very important to have that environment, to understand in that environment that how can you strategize to not just drain out all your brain capacity in DILR and then go to quants and then you feel like even knowing quants, you will not be able to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So during the last 2 or 3 months, I would say, जब important होता है mock papers वगैरह देना, then revision is also important. So what was your daily routine? Monday to Friday, obviously you will be going to office, then coming back from office, studying for CAT, mock papers, weekdays maybe लिखते होगे, then Saturday, Sunday. So did you follow any specific schedule, any specific routine?
So for the last weeks, I would say my routine was that Monday I would give a mock because that's for 3 hours after I come back from office. Tuesday, I would analyze that mock. Wednesday would be to revise the areas that I lagged in the Monday's mock.
Nice.
Then Thursday again, a mock. Friday again, the analysis. Saturday morning would be revision. Saturday evening would become another mock.
Perfect.
That was the way I planned my entire week.
So can say every week you were writing at least 2 mocks.
At least 2 to 3 mocks, yes.
It's wonderful. And that was your schedule in the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
and before
I think
that,
October,
obviously,
November, yes.
November, right? Okay, great, great. Now, Shivam, I'll be asking this question. Don't worry at all. Okay. So now CAT exam ho gaya, right? CAT ka result aa gaya. So once you saw the result of CAT 98.71 percentile, I'm repeating it again. तो उस टाइम पे क्या लगा कि कौन कौन से कॉलेज से कॉल आ जाएगा?
Honestly, again, I was hoping I would get Ahmedabad. I was really not sure even by that time that I would get Ahmedabad. I was hoping that I'll get at least 𝐀𝐻𝐻 because that would have been my best call if not Ahmedabad. And one of my friends told me that you could get Bangalore because of my work experience.
Work experience.
And so I was hoping for 𝐀𝐻𝐻 in Bangalore. Those were one of my best calls that I was hoping after my percentile. But then Ahmedabad came and I was like, okay. That was a sigh of relief that, okay, I have that call, my dream college, I have it.
Wonderful. So the calls that you got, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Indore, Kozhikode, Shillong. So if I talk about Blackie, so other than C, you get all the calls.
All the
and
calls.
then obviously all the cap calls and everything, wo bhi tha. Now, other than IIMs, what was your best call?
Other than IIMs, I would say I only gave CAD, honestly. I did not give the OMEDs. Other than IIMs, mine was IIFT and MDI. I did not get FMS. I could not qualify for FMS cutoff, but IIFT and MDI, I got it.
Oh, wonderful. Great, great. So now journey from starting from CAT के results आ गए हैं. Now एक एक करके IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, सबका calls आ गया है. So immediately after CAT, what was your plan of action?
First was to work on the tell me about yourself. That was one of the most important thing that I did, was to map down the entire journey from 10th till the work experience I have, so that I have a comprehensive understanding of why exactly I want to do MBA. Because if I am not sure why I want to do an MBA, I would not be able to convince the panel in front who's asking me that why do you want to do an MBA? And how does that even align with the future goals that you are planning to do? So it was very important for me to sit and understand what do I want, what are my future goals, and where does MBA align with it, so that I could convince myself that, okay, this is what I want to do, so that I can convince the panel in front that this is what I want to do. Second thing was to get back with current affairs, because working with English, maths, DILR was absolutely not possible to do current affairs simultaneously. So then I went with the newspapers, started reading the newspapers again, the Hindu, Economic Times, to have the entire understanding of what's actually going on in the business. Third third I would say was to have the entire understanding of my industry,
Hmm.
because if being workex, I knew that they would ask about my industry a lot, because if I am working for 2.5 years, it's very important for me to understand my industry, understand my roles and responsibilities, and again how MBA aligns with that. So
Absolutely.
these were the three aspects where I started my learnings from the first day.
And I would say that it absolutely makes sense what you did. So you need to know about yourself before you will tell anyone else about what you are.
Yeah.
Then whatever you have done in your life, obviously they'll be asking questions from those things only. They'll not be asking anything which is away, which has nothing to do with your profile. So
Right.
I would say like a perfect plan that you followed. So Shambhavi, I remember like we met in January, right?
Yes.
So that was an event that was conducted by MBA Wallah for all the students for the preparation of GDPI. So what was the role of those 2 days of preparation in your life?
I think it was very, very necessary for me to have that Friday, Saturday session, because honestly, I was not really sure about myself, because I saw a lot of people having the extracurricular activities, a lot of national achievements, sports, and at that time I just felt that I don't really have anything. I don't have a very specific hobby or specific passion that I can talk about. I don't have any extracurricular achievements that I can show in my CV and something like that. So I needed that anchor to understand that okay, even if I do not have those extra achievements, I am someone, and
Right.
I have to prove that I am someone. And
Believe
I
in yourself.
exactly. And I really would give a lot of appreciation to you, sir, for that. Because when we talked and when you actually told me that, okay, these are the things that I can think of, I think that was the anchor for me. The moment I started feeling that maybe I'm not it, I would just get back to our conversation that, okay, that I am. It's okay. Don't worry. I am. So I would really thank you for that. Grateful from my bottom of my heart. And the other thing would be the Friday session that we had, that Juhi ma'am took about the appearances, the
Right.
entire stuff,
Body language and all.
body languages, yes, and the uh, points about the tell me about yourself.
Right.
Because it's very important to understand what you're talking about is relevant to the panel and is relevant to what you are projecting yourself as. So those pointers, those sessions were very important for me to build the entire journey ahead.
Okay, great, great. So we'll take a small pause and we'll take up some questions. So Stuti, you were asking how many mocks you gave. So Shambhavi, how many mocks you gave?
More than 30, I would say.
More than 30. So every mock that we had. So Stuti, Shambhavi has attempted each and every mock that was available. Okay. Now, Shambhavi, Shivam is asking, is fluency in English compulsory in an interview?
Not really. Fluency in English doesn't really matter. What matters is your confidence that you project in front of them. That is what is important. Even if you're not able to speak that fluently in English, even if you're able to articulate what you're thinking, that is more important. If that's in a tutti frutti English, that is also fine. They just need to understand what you are saying, and they need to understand that you get what you are saying. That's all.
So if you are able to convey what you want to say, right?
Right.
Right. So communication is important, not fluency in English. So communication and
Yes.
fluency in English, students na बहुत confuse करते हैं. So if I say that my communication skills are good, so that does not mean that my English is very fluent, right? So communication skills मतलब अपना जो आइडिया है ना, अपना जो बोलना चाह रहे हो, वो टूटी फूटी इंग्लिश में भी कन्वे कर दोगे ना अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू क्लियरली, तो इट्स डन, इट्स ट्रू, राइट? ठीक है.
Yes. I would say one of my interviews asked me this question, that what do you think is communication, and what is the misconception about communication? And that's exactly what I said, that communication is conveying what you want and convincing what you're talking about. It's not really related to the language that you're speaking in or the way that you're speaking in. It's the points that you keep. That's communication.
Right, right. Now, Stuti is asking, and I'll reframe this question. So, first of all, Stuti is asking, you read newspapers regularly before appearing for CAT or not? Or you started it after your CAT result? And I'll add one more thing. What according to you is good? Should we be reading from day one onwards, or should we start thinking about our GDPI preparation after CAT? What is the good thing to do?
I would reiterate that one step at a time.
Hmm.
Your goal should be CAT before you have cleared the CAT. So your goal should definitely be DILR, maths, and English when you're preparing for the CAT examination. Think about GDPI after you're done with your CAT examination.
All right.
After you have the results in your hand, even before you have the results in your hand, just make a habit of starting the newspaper, at least to stay abreast about the current affairs that's happening, because majority of the questions becomes what's happening currently that affects your industry. Or since in that area, like in
Hmm.
January, February, the budget session is the most hotspot. So a lot of campus interviews, if that happens around the budget session, they would definitely ask you related to the budget areas, like what is the exact budget, what's your thought on the budget, where your industry is in the budget sessions. So it's very important to have at least the basic understanding of what's currently happening in the industry. So newspapers become one of the best way for that.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, Akansha is asking how you started LRDI. Please tell us.
DILR started, I would say, with the foundation YouTube sessions
Hmm.
of
One.
PW. First was that. Second was the tests that happened in the batches.
Mm-hmm.
That was the second thing. And since I have a little interest in DILR since the before CAT as well, so I have a knack for reasonings actually. So DILR, I actually started with the DPPs, and then I went jumped to the videos, because the areas I felt that okay, this is something that I am not able to do. That was the time where I looked at the videos and then came back to the mocks and DPPs.
Great. Now, how was the pressure in the interview room and how you were able to handle that?
Ooh. It's immense pressure. It's really immense pressure outside the waiting area, where you know that the second you're next,
Hmm.
and you feel that okay, the time is ticking, the person who has gone before you is not coming out, and you're just sitting there looking around the other panels who are coming out, going in. That's where the immense pressure comes. But it's very important to understand at that point that they are not thinking that you're in pressure. they
Absolutely.
they they're just working as an interview panel who will just look at you as another candidate. So you should also go as another candidate who has to sell herself. So try to have deep breaths as much as possible. I think that's what helps. And it's also very important to interact with the people around you, because that helps reducing the pressure. If you're not talking to the people around you, you just have that spiral of thoughts that okay,
Right.
what's gonna happen, what are they asking, what's going on. Try distracting as much as possible. Try talking to people, who are you, what's your profile, where you are, so that you when you go inside the panel, you're just fresh. Whatever they ask you, you can answer, because you are used to the conversations happening, because you have conversed with a lot of candidates that are in the panel that time.
Right. It should not be your first conversation of the day.
Yes, absolutely.
Great, great, great. Now people are asking tips for quant, tips for verbal RC. So whatever you want to tell them, go ahead.
Ideally, I would say that it's very important to have a notes book. You should not just rely on the videos and not just rely on the digital notes. It's very important to write down, because the moment you write the formulas, the moment you write what is actually important, it stays in your mind. It's not just that you have to look at it once and you feel that okay, it's done. You have to work it out. You have to paste uh, cutouts in front where you can see every day, so that it's stilled in your brain, so it's on the tip of fingers. All the formulas of quant should be on the tip of your fingers. All the shortcuts should be there, and as much questions as you can in the preparation, so that even if the question is not how you thought it would come, at least you know how to do it. it's very important to understand how things are done rather than what is the thing that is there. So the moment you have that understanding, it gets pretty easy to work around that pressure on the cat
Right.
day
Your
itself.
spectrum will be wide if you know how things works.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Great. Now, Shambhavi, now at this stage, I would like to invite you for something. I would like to give you a small offer.
Okay.
And like you know about our mentorship program, right?
Yes.
We provide one-on-one mentorship to our students. Okay,
Yes.
so I want to offer you to join our mentorship program, not as a student, but as a mentor.
Oh, absolutely. I would be very happy to do that.
Wonderful, because we want students like you to mentor our future aspirants who are preparing for CAT 2026, and they would also be they would also love to have a mentor like you who is so much sorted in her mind and who had it was your first attempt for CAT, and very few people are able to convert IIM Ahmedabad in their first attempt. So people would love to have a mentor like you.
Sure.
Great.
I would love to guide people. Yes.
Thank you, Shambhavi. So, Shambhavi, just to end this session, any advice, any tips that you'd like to give to our aspirants of CAT 2026?
One thing I would say is just trust the process. Have faith in yourself, trust the process. It's very important to just tell yourself that you will be able to do it. Just don't think about what's going to happen after CAT. Just think about the D day. Your D day is your CAT day. Your D day is not when you convert the college or when you get the results, when you're done with the interviews. Your D day is the November date that the exam is going to happen. That's your goal. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about whether you will get the percentile or not. Don't think about whether you'll be able to convert it or not. That's part of the phase 2. Just think about phase 1 as a project. Think about it. It's the phase 1 that you have to do. So trust the process, even if some things are not working out, even if you feel that you're stuck at a equation or a question and you're not able to do it, it's okay. Leave it for 2 3 weeks, then come back. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. Just trust yourself and trust the process. That's all that's required.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Shambhavi. Thank you for joining us here. And uh, one more time, I would like to congratulate you on behalf of the entire team of MBA Wallah. You have made us feel proud.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All the best, Shambhavi. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.